Donald Trump's ongoing negligent, malignant incompetence in managing the pandemic, the disastrous conditions of the country, 8 million people have fallen into poverty, and Trump's personal odiousness are obviously the big things driving much of this campaign. But in some ways, those things overshadow the fact that Donald Trump's actual policy agenda, compared to Joe Biden's, is even less popular than the way he is managing his job as president. Former Democratic Senator Claire McCaskill of Missouri joins me now. She is a veteran of lots of campaigns, and also I think campaigns in which you've got to win voters that are maybe not the most plugged in, or voters who are not usually voting for your party in a state like Missouri. And it's just striking to me, those numbers, that the world of the political conversation and the world of a voter who might just be tuning in now at 2 weeks, there's a real challenge for Joe Biden just to tell people what your campaign platform is.
Well, and the thing that was astounding to me, Chris, in addition to all the issues you laid out there, where Biden has a commanding lead on the policies that his campaign has embraced, he's even ahead on law and order, and and it's a wash on the economy.
Right.
I mean, Trump is acting like the economy is, and frankly, his campaign staff thinks it's the only thing that will save him. Well, right now in America, just as many people think Joe Biden will be good for the economy as, in fact, they think Donald Trump was good for the economy. And in Law and Order, he is really trying to make Law and Order the whole deal. And the people say by 6 points that Biden is better on Law and Order. And then all the other things that are the intangibles that matter so much in this election, things like uniting the country and bringing us together.
The numbers on the stimulus were really fascinating to me, too, because obviously there's this triangulation happening right now. And I find it really interesting to square Republican senators' stated theory about the popularity of this, which is that Republicans will get mad at them if they spend all this money, and they'll hate them and they won't turn up to vote, and what the actual polling data shows, which is that it is an overwhelmingly popular thing in the country. Do people just tell themselves stories that are wrong about the electorate?
Well, today was caucus lunch. And McConnell stood up in front of all the Republicans. I can see him standing there. I can see everyone sitting at their tables eating lunch. And he told them, don't worry, I've told the White House no on their desire to have a $2 trillion COVID rescue package for people who are really hurting right now in the country. Now, let me see if I get this straight. The Republicans in the Senate would not stand up to this president when he was separating children and putting families in cages. They would not stand up to him when Putin put a bounty on the heads of our soldiers. They would not stand up to him when he said there were very fine people on both sides when Nazis were marching with tiki torches. But now is the moment that they're going to stand up to him and say no, when 72% of America agrees with the Democrats that a coronavirus aid package is needed, not tomorrow, not next week, but today. And I thought it was really fascinating that this is the moment that the Republicans in the Senate, who were, by the way, on the ropes in terms of their majority, this is the line in the sand they're going to draw. It is bizarre.
It's such a great point, and it points exactly to a huge, crucial weakness for Donald Trump running this time versus 2016. Lots of polls show that people perceive Donald Trump as more moderate than Hillary Clinton in 2016. I think that's obviously erroneous, but that was the perception that voters had. That is not the case this time, and I think in many cases, Mitch McConnell has successfully captured Donald Trump in terms of the agenda, like repeal the ACA, a big corporate tax cut, and now stonewalling a big rescue package is the kind of very unpopular Republican orthodoxy that has made them toxic to voters that now Donald Trump has yoked around his neck as well.
Yeah, and don't forget, let's protect dirty, dark money in politics at all costs. I mean, that is one of, Mitch McConnell's go-to.
Yeah.
It's fascinating because I think we're all pretty sure that Donald Trump doesn't have an ideology. He's not a conservative or a liberal. The only thing Donald Trump is all about Donald Trump. There's nothing he really believes in other than his own mirror image that he looks at with all of his orange makeup.
Yeah, I mean, I think the one thing he's genuine on about is his bigotry, which I think is actually not an act. But I guess the final question for you is just in terms of when you think about Biden operationalizing this. To me, it just struck me that the muting thing on the debate is useful in so much as you can just say something like, "I want to raise the minimum wage to $15 an hour," and say that 3 or 4 times for an audience that's tuning in that might not know that about you. And polls overwhelmingly popularly, or I think we should have another rescue package, or I think we shouldn't destroy the ACA. Those basic pieces of information for the kinds of voters that are still in the gettable quadrant strike me as pretty important in this next debate.
And even going so far as gun safety. I mean, we know that a wide majority of Americans want more gun safety measures in terms of background checks. And there are a lot of Roe v. Wade.
Yep.
Yes. and healthcare, all of these things are things that Joe Biden will have a chance to talk about, albeit only for 2 minutes without interruption, but hopefully he'll get some of that in.
Yes, exactly. You just have to string together the 2 minutes of muted time to just deliver your popular messages, I think is the goal for Thursday night. Former Senator Claire McCaskill, thank you so much.
You bet.